following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Arizona, Brother Mike is back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. Thank you for tuning in today. Today's Bible study, Tokyo's Trans Olympics. And I don't mean transcontinental. Hey, will you call somebody and tell them radio program's on? Yeah, that'll be great. Thank you for your help. I'll make a couple of announcements while you make that call. Thank you for your prayers and your support. I'm Brother Mike. I'm a professional counselor, 39 years of it. The Arizona Deliverance Center. We're downtown on 15th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road. HardcoreChristianity.com is our website. We are a legitimate nonprofit religious ministry registered with the great state of Arizona at the Arizona Corporation Commission. I just re-registered us. You do it every year. Every Thursday and Friday night we have healing and deliverance services with teaching of the Word of God at 7 p.m. streamed live on youtube.com/houseofhealingaz. When you go to the website, please remember to sign up for the free seminars. Don't forget about my teaching class on deliverance and healing. It's the fourth Saturday of every month at noon in the small sanctuary. The PayPal button allows you to send us another donation as you have for the last 19 years. Thank you so much. You keep us on the air with your donations and your prayers. When you get ready to sell your house, contact Sister Karen. She's on the homepage of the website. She loves working with born-again Christians. And by the way, thank you for all the referrals you've sent her. It's been great. I don't take a salary in the ministry, so I have to live off my wife, to be honest with you. And thank you for your referrals. Tokyo's Trans Olympics coming up this summer. Party. Time for a big party. A COVID Olympics coming up in Japan. And guess what? It's a first. The first trans athlete to compete in the Olympics. That's correct. Transgenderism has now come to the Olympics, and this is the first one that we have ever seen. It's a 43-year-old guy. He's a weightlifter. He's identifies as a female. He's gone through sex surgery. And his name or her name now is Laurel Hubbard. He's from New Zealand. And he's been competing in Olympic lifting events on a regular basis against women for years. No problem. And the New Zealand Olympic Committee, the CEO there, her name is Catherine Smith, said that Hubbard has met all the eligibility criteria to compete in the Olympics. And he has met all of the IOC transgender requirements to compete in the Olympics. Smith said, quote, "We acknowledge that gender identity in sports is a highly sensitive and complex issue requiring a balance between human rights and fairness on the field of play." Really? Okay. She said again, quote, "As the New Zealand team, we have a strong culture of inclusion and respect for all. We are committed to supporting all eligible New Zealand athletes and ensuring their mental and physical well-being, along with their high-performance needs, while preparing for and competing at the Olympic Games." This lady, trans woman, is 41 years old, and in 2019 she competed in the Pacific Games, and she finished first. She got the gold medal. She lifted 268 kilograms. And her 268 kilograms was 7 and 13 kilograms ahead of the silver medalist and the bronze medal winners. They were both biological females. And so here you run into a situation that's unbelievable. It's happening right in front of our eyes. The delusions of transgenderism is now starting to seep through our society. The Olympics, most people don't care much about, but here in the United States, in high schools and colleges around the United States, this is going to cause enormous, catastrophic controversy, because trans women are biologically and genetically superior to biological women. Males have a genetic superior advantage to females in athletics. Period. Everybody knows it. That's why the NCAA created Title VII, benefits for women. And the NCAA has now betrayed women and is now doing what the IOC is doing by welcoming in trans women, males who identify as females. But unfortunately, the bone structure, the lung capacity, the genetics, even when they have surgery and they have a gonadectomy, which is a procedure where the person's genitalia is removed, including the testicles. And in addition, there's a certain protocol you have to go through to be able to compete. And it involves testosterone levels. They monitor those heavily with trans women. They monitor that with everybody actually now, because steroids, as you know, is a major problem in almost all sports. It's ridiculous. But it is what it is. But a lot of people are crying foul with this transgenderism, as well they should, because in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders, which is the Bible of psychiatry, transgenderism, transvestitism, was always considered a mental illness in the DSM 1, 2, and 3. And then it started to change in the DSM 4, and the DSM 5 no longer lists it as a mental illness. Transgenderism now is considered normal, and transgenderism is also considered normal. And all across the country, pediatricians are committing malpractice by putting girls and boys who think they're the opposite sex on drugs and therapy, conversion therapy. It's happening all over the country, and it is an absolute tragedy because, as you know, God created human beings one of two ways. They are either males or females. There is not 52 genders. There's not 72 genders. There's not 3 genders. There's only 2. And people are crying foul. For example, Beth Stelzer, the founder of Save Women's Sports, spoke out against this guy competing as a woman in the Olympics. She said, quote, "What the Olympics is doing by allowing males to compete in women's category is not only shameful, but a mockery of the sport. We cannot change our sex. A male cannot become a female by lowering their testosterone. Women are not a hormone level. Identities do not play sports. Bodies play sports. The rights of females should not end where the feelings of a few males begin, unquote. This Beth Stelzer kind of basically hit this thing on the head. But what she didn't mention was that this is a spiritual issue. What happens is, at some time during childhood, the spirit of rejection through abuse, neglect, or abandonment enters the child and begins to morph that child's personality and develops within the child low self-esteem, a low self-concept, and the spirit of rejection lets in other demons. And sometimes those demons are sexual perversion demons, where they morph the person's sexual desires to have same-sex attractions or bisexual attractions, or they morph their gender identity and they begin to train the person and train the child that they were born in the wrong body, that they are actually the other sex. This is a monstrous plague of demons causing transgenderism, transvestitism, and bisexuality, homosexuality, lesbianism. All of it is caused by spirits that enter a person either in childhood or through some sexual sinful behavior. These demons get into the person's body and they start morphing their sexuality. They start morphing their gender. And they switch it. And it used to be considered a mental illness in the field of psychiatry. It no longer is, but it is actually, the root cause is actually spiritual. This is a spiritual root cause. Unclean spirits enter the person's body. They convince the person by giving them sensuous desires, sensuous feelings, sensuous emotions, and intellectual lies that they put in the person's brain that end up in their mind, and the person starts to think they're attracted to the same sex. They start to think they are not the gender they were born with. They start to think they're the other gender. Then our society, soaked in sin and a servant of Satan, starts to help the person transition, and in many cases this happens without parental consent. The school districts are behind it, the teachers support it, the pediatricians are deceived and commit malpractice by damaging these children, where later on they regret their decision, they go through extreme depression and commit suicide. If you need help, 602-636-5800, please call now.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.